and welcome to the Habits and Home Show. I'm your host, Lisa Lazat, and I help busy moms bring order to their homes by downsizing and decluttering and ditching old habits in exchange for systems that bring peace and more enjoyment to their lives. If you're a mom trying to show the love of Jesus to your family, but the clutter in your home keeps you overwhelmed and frustrated, you have come to the right place. On this podcast, you will hear easy, step-by-step tips to declutter and create systems so you can keep your home organized and finally walk in the peace God has promised you. Need some accountability? I've got you covered there too. Join the Accountability Club, a community of like-minded mamas decluttering and systemizing our homes together. Are you ready, friend? Let's get started. Hey friends, and welcome to the show. This is episode number 4 of my favorite home management systems. And today we are covering the paper management system. This is a highly requested system from a lot of my clients, and it's something that they struggle with a lot. It takes a couple of weeks to get through, and I have a step-by-step process for them to follow. This is also a system that we covered the beginning of this year inside the Accountability Club. So my members inside the club were given this tutorial, and they were able to do it right along with me as I refreshed my own paper management system. So if you are interested in seeing what that looked like, you can click the link below and grab the workbook and the course that has that bonus coaching video inside of it. Inside my little mini course, there is a 5-step module that takes you through the entire process that I'm going to share with you today. Today is going to be a little bit more of an overview of what my system looks like. And inside the workbook and the course, I'm going to give you video tutorials that is going to hold your hand as you declutter and systemize your household paperwork. So if you're interested in that, click the link below to grab it. It is very affordable. All right, so I have 5 steps for you for getting your papers organized and decluttered and systemized in your home. All right. So step number 1 is to simplify your paper inventory. And the best way to simplify your inventory is simply to go around your house and gather up all the paperwork in the nooks and crannies of your house. You might have paperwork stored in your kitchen. You might have it in your office, in your bedroom, nightstand. It's just everywhere. Am I right? You might have piles of it on the kitchen counter. You might have piles of mail that you are avoiding dealing with. You might have bills that are late or past due because just dealing with any paperwork overwhelms you. Friend, we have to address this head on. You have probably gone too far. You have avoided for too long. So now we're going to do a little boot camp, right? We're going to go around and we're simply going to gather everything up. We're not going to look at anything. We are not paying attention to what it is. We are simply noticing that it is a piece of paper, and we are going to grab it, put it in a basket or a bin, and we're going to take it to our designated workspace, wherever that workspace is for you. For me, inside the video that I share with you from my coaching call, I stood at my dining room table. You want to clear off the workspace where you are going to be working with your papers, okay? So now that you've gathered up all of your papers and you've designated a workspace, now you're going to use sticky notes to create categories. Now, before you even look at your papers, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to just think. Hopefully you can think about this, but if not, then I do give you some suggestions inside the course. And I want you to think of categories that deal with anything in your home or in your family. So say medical, electric, house, car, animals, kids' school, kids' homeschool, electricity bill, health insurance, car insurance, life insurance. I want you to just write down each of these categories on one sticky note and stick it around your table or your workspace, wherever you are working. And then you are going to look at that large stack of papers, maybe in your basket, and you're just going to say, okay, this belongs to this category, this belongs to this, but you are not decluttering yet. You are simply identifying what category that paperwork belongs into, and you're simply putting it by that sticky note. I do recommend creating a sticky note for the category of each person's name as well. And you don't necessarily have to separate. Now, if you want to separate medical per person, you can, but if you just want to have a family medical file, then just put it all together, okay? I know for us, we don't have a lot of medical information, but maybe you have a particular child or a person in your family who has a lot of medical issues, and you might want to create a separate medical file for that child. Okay, so now that you have separated all of your paperwork from the large stack into its categories, then I want you to take that sticky note and place it on top of each category. So you're basically putting all the paperwork that you have gathered up around your house into categories, and put the sticky note on top of those categories, and then stack them right back up. So you have your same pile, but it is designated per category. All right. So then after you have them separated by category, and remember, each step you should be able to walk away. So say your kid, you have to go pick up your kids from school, or you need to lay the baby down or something, or the baby wakes up. You can, I've laid this out in a way that you can stop at any point, and then you can pick right back up where you left off, okay? So now that you have that stack of your categories, you are going to pull off one category at a time, and now you are focusing on one category of papers, and you're going to decide what's actually important, okay? As you are doing this, I want you to think about how to separate these now papers in this one category into different piles. I want you to think, okay, these are papers that I need to keep on hand in case I die. These are life claim paperwork. So if someone were to come in and need to access my important papers, I need to have this paper on hand. Okay, so you have your on-hand papers. Then I want you to take it a level down, a step down for papers that's sort of kind of not really important, but you don't really need to have them on hand. You want to keep them, but you don't necessarily have to need them on hand in case you die, right? So you have your if I die papers, then you have your not so important papers, but I want to keep them. I would label those your Google Drive papers. These are papers that you can scan and upload to your Google Drive into that folders category, and you don't need to keep it on hand. This is the beauty of this system, is that you are identifying what's important, what's less important, and what is non-essential at all, and you can throw it away. And so that's category number 3. As you are doing the one designated category, let's say health insurance, you are going to do your if I die papers, your Google Drive papers, and then this is going to be our trash papers, okay? Also, I would do a 4th category, and this category or this pile can be all your papers together, and this is your to-dos pile. This is your things, your tasks that you need to actually do and follow through like ASAP, okay? All right, so now that we have went through each of our categories, so you're going to do one category at a time. Try to, in a session, when you are going through your categories and decluttering, and be brutal. Like, you do not need to hang on to everything. Say your life insurance policy or health insurance policy, you only really need the cover letter that has your account number and the place to call in case there is an emergency, so to make a life claim, okay? So you do not have to keep the entire packet of the policy that you own, because it is in your account online. All right. So now that you have simplified your paper inventory, you've gone through each of the categories and you have decluttered each category individually, then you are going to systemize your paper organization. And this is what I like to call a family emergency file box. So there's 2 parts to this. The family emergency file box, which you have, if you've gone through each of your categories, you've created the if I die pile per category. All right. So you're simply going to take those if I die papers per category, and you're going to create a file and put it in your family emergency file box. I do recommend putting on the outside of the box your address if it's your house, any account numbers and passwords that go with that particular category. And then the second part of creating your paper organization system is creating your Google Drive. Now, to create a Google Drive, all you need is a Gmail account, and it's completely free. So I want you to, in your Google Drive, to create folders. Hopefully you can do this before you even get started. Now, if your Google Drive is all cluttered, don't worry about it for now. Just create new folders that match each category of papers that you have on hand in your emergency file box, okay? So, and it could be papers that, save. For me, I don't need papers on hand for homeschooling when we homeschooled, so I create a Google Drive folder for our homeschool papers. So think about this. Anything that makes a life claim, put it in your family emergency box. Anything that you kind of want to keep on hand for quick reference later on, it's not really essential, and make sure that it doesn't have any personal identification information on it. It can be scanned and uploaded into your Google Drive. And I do give you a tutorial of how to do that inside the course. All right, step number 3 is to also systemize your school papers and your daily mail. A lot of y'all tell me, what do I do about all the school papers that are coming in? Well, you need to have a designated place where you keep your school papers. And for me, I just simply have a clipboard in my kitchen that I put our school papers that I need to reference later on. Now, papers that come in with dates, I have created a habit because I'm not in the state of overwhelm. You might be in that state where you're just like, I cannot even wrap my head around anything. Okay, you're going to have to start by taking baby steps. You cannot overhaul your entire life in just one podcast episode. You really can't. All right. So create a designated spot where you put your papers, your kids' school papers, where you need to reference them later on. Now, for their school papers that are more sentimental, they need to go into their sentimental box. All right, and I have another episode for that. And we are going to do a sentimentals system as well, but we're not covering that right now. All right, and then your mail system. I give you a complete walkthrough in the workbook and in the course of how to create a mail system. And basically for me, and this is just how I teach, just designate one person that is a designated mail collector. They are the person that checks the mail. It creates a lot of chaos. I'm going to just be honest. It really does when two people are doing one job, right? It's the same with running a business. What is your standard operating procedure? Well, one designated person is the mail delivery person. And if they're not there, then the other person can substitute, right? But on a standard basis, a regular basis, have a designated person who collects the mail. And that person is the one who, when they collect the mail, they sort it right then. Pick the person who doesn't struggle with mail. For me, I struggled with mail. My husband would collect it, bring it in, set it on the counter, and I was like, babe, I am just overwhelmed by this. I don't want to make decisions for this. And it was easy for him. He's like, well, this is important. This is not. I'm going to throw this away. And I'm like, can you just do that before you even bring it in the house? And he's like, actually, yeah, I can do that. So y'all, I have not looked at mail, oh my goodness, in 10 years, except on my birthday and Christmas, which this month is my birthday, and I just got a card the other day. So it's absolutely wonderful that I do not have to look at mail. So pick a person that can be the designated mail person who it's easy for them to make decisions. And I give you more steps inside the course, so go and grab that. All right, so you've systemized your school papers and your mail. Now that we have all of our systems in place, now we need to sustain it. And this is where most of y'all struggle. It's fun. It's fun to create the system, but it's not so fun in the day-to-day where you actually have to follow through and maintain the system and sustain it, right? You like the laundry system, you like putting it all together, and you like to create the routines and the schedules, but you don't really like getting up and starting your load of laundry at the designated time, right? It's the same with paperwork. We have papers that come in. We don't want to make a decision right there, but we have to put on our big girl panties or pull up our big girl pants and actually do it. This is where the system, following through actually helps the systems. And I always say systems without habits are dead. They are just dead systems because we're not following through. So I recommend doing reset routines. You can have a daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly reset. And in that reset, think about things that you would do daily to reset your paperwork. That's sorting the mail immediately. What would you do weekly? Oh, I'm going to refresh my kids' book bags. I'm going to get the paperwork out of my kids' book bags weekly. And then monthly, you might clear the school clipboard from all its old papers. And then yearly, I collect tax information and I clear out our family emergency box. I just look and see if there's anything new that needs to be put in there, anything old that needs to be taken out. So that is my reset routine for that, okay? And so that's basically it, y'all. My paper management system. It's simplify your paper inventory, systemize your paper organization, systemize your school papers in your mail, sustain your paper organization. Oh, I forgot number 5. Step number 5 is to set up your will. And y'all, I found the best place to do my will. My kids, I just did this, let's say, the beginning of this year, I think. Yes, I did it at the beginning of this year when we were doing paperwork inside the accountability club. And this had been just looming over us since we had a daughter 15 years ago. We never did a will, and it just overwhelmed me. I couldn't wrap my mind around it, and you probably can't wrap your mind around it either, because motherhood, it's just one of those things that we just put off, and because it's not like front and center in our face, and it's not like I gotta do right now, like we have to pay our light bill to keep our lights on. We don't necessarily think that we're going to pass away anytime soon. So it's something that we just always put off. So I found a place that is absolutely fabulous. I did my will. It probably took me 30 minutes. It was worth the price that I paid. I think I paid for me and my husband to complete ours maybe $250. If I would have went to a lawyer, that would have cost me so much more. So this place that I use is actually promoted by Dave Ramsey. It's called mamabearlegal.com. And I actually reached out to them because I was going to create this paperwork course and workbook and asked them if they could give y'all a discount. So I do have an affiliate code below. Click on it, get it. I have a code as well that you can put it in and to get 20% off of your order. It is really, really easy to do and complete your will. And I think you have like 6 months to update it, and you just print it off, take it down to a notary, and then you are done. So I do recommend you putting that into your file, your family emergency file box as well. All right, friends, so those are my 5 steps for you to get your papers decluttered and organized so that you can have more peace of mind. If you're interested in the course and the workbook, click the link below. If you want to join the accountability club, I would love to have you. There's also a link below that you can join the club. And if you are someone who, yes, a workbook would be great for most people, and yes, doing the accountability club with a bunch of other women would be fabulous because it's really affordable. But you are someone who just knows that you need some one-on-one hand-holding. I also do one-on-one coaching, and I have a couple of spots available if you are interested. So click the link below to do a free coaching consultation with me. All right, friends, I will see you right here next time on the Habits and Home Show. Hey friend, before you go, I wanted to tell you more about the Accountability Club. Each month, we'll tackle a new space in our homes and work together to declutter and set up systems so we can easily maintain order without getting overwhelmed. You'll get a new decluttering tutorial each month, the coaching and accountability you need to actually follow through, and encouragement without judgment from other Christian moms in a safe environment. And guess what? The entire club is off of social media, so you don't have to worry about distractions the world may throw at you. Sweet friend, if you're feeling stuck in your decluttering journey, this is the place for you. Click the link below to try out the Accountability Club and start decluttering today.